UFC 323 taking place in T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, United States, Sunday, 7th of December, 5 a.m. SAST. So it's Merab Dvalishvili against Peter Yan 2. I'm going to give you my predictions for the UFC 323 card. So I'm making 4 predictions. All of them are going to be based on the main card. So let's start this off with Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Now, Henry Cejudo has gained a lot of prestige back in the early 2010s up to 2020. He was at one point one of the UFC's only ever 4 double champs until they removed that, and then currently you can only be a 2 division or maybe 3 division champion, but you can't hold both titles simultaneously. Back in the day when that was still a thing, Henry Cejudo was one of the double champs, sharing the prestige of a double champ with Conor McGregor, of course Henry Cejudo, Daniel Cormier, and Amanda Nunes. So Henry Cejudo, Triple C, his record in the bantamweight division is 16 victories, 5 losses, and 0 draws, 8 wins by knockout, 5 first-round finishes. His career hasn't been going all too well since he was on a losing streak that happened in 2020. I think May the 10th, he versed Dominic Cruz, and he won, but it was a shaky win. And, well, I'm saying shaky, but it was a second round knockout. But the first round, I don't think he was doing too good. But I think he just got that knockout that's really boosted his ego a bit. But ever since 2020, May the 10th, he's gone on to lose. And when I mean lose, I mean boom, 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 3 losses. And those 3 losses have come by way of unanimous decisions, split decisions. He hasn't been knocked out, but I think he's out of his prime. When he was in his prime, unstoppable force. He was king over bantamweight, but he's not been in his prime for a couple of years now. He was an Olympic wrestler, so we know, anyone who knows Henry knows he's a wrestler by heart. And in 2023, May the 7th, he lost against Aljamain Sterling, split decision, and then after that he lost against Merab Dvalishvili, the current bantamweight champion, by unanimous decision, and that was really unanimous. Merab made it look as if Henry never even stepped into a wrestling gym. That's how flawless Merab's wrestling is. To make an Olympic champion look as if he's never wrestled, that just pays tribute to Merab's, endurance and his outpacing style of wrestling. Then after that, his latest fight was against Song Yadong in February 23 this year, 2025, and he lost by unanimous decision. So that was not what we want. It's not what we want or what we need, but at the end of the day, it's what happened. So Henry Cejudo, his career, he can be proud of it. He was one of the double champs after all, before they removed that division. And you have to look at him versus Peyton Talbot for next week. You have to look at, before I can make a concrete prediction now, we have to just analyze Peyton Talbot real quickly. So Peyton Talbot also fights in the bantamweight division. Weird tattoo with a circle on his chest. I don't know, maybe he got I don't know what he paid for that, but he gets that fixed. Anyway, so he has 10 victories, 1 loss, 7 wins coming by way of knockout, 1 by submission, 1 first round finish. So he is a knockout artist, but he can also submit. His striking accuracy is also there. It's there. It's not good, but it's there. And now Peyton Talbot he won his last fight against Lima this year in June, but he also lost this year in Jan against Barcelos. But he did win against Gamori in the previous year, 2024, and then he did defeat Cameron Simon, one of the only 2 South African fighters in the UFC. But I think Simon's quite weak. I mean, Dricus is obviously the pride and joy of South Africa, but Cameron is he's trying to get there. He's trying really hard, but he just, I don't know, he doesn't have the drive that Dricus has. I don't know about Cameron. I think his days in the UFC are over. Could have been, but I don't know. Anyway, Peyton Talbot only joined the UFC in 2023, so he's quite an early bird. Only has 5 fights in the UFC. He'll be trying to make his second one against Henry next week. Payton's not really a good wrestler, he's more of a striker. When I look at the fight between Henry and Payton, I have to go with Henry on this. I think Henry's just going to control him all the rounds via his wrestling. He's going to take him down round 1. It's only a 3-round fight, mind you. So he's going to take him down round 1, keep him there, get the control time, try and look with a submission, but Henry's not a really good... He has no wins by submission, so not to say that he's not a good submission artist. He probably has a black belt. I mean, you have to have one. That's like a prerequisite to even make it to the UFC. So there's no doubt that he's a very good jiu-jitsu performer, but he's just going to out-wrestle him. I think he's going to take him down round 1, just stay on top of him, go to side mount, full mount, just control him. And same thing for round 2 and round 3. He's going to win by unanimous decision, maybe 30-27. I don't think Payton's going to really put up a fight. If the fight stays on its feet, that's the only chances Payton has. The only chances he has, because if it goes down, it's Henry's world, you know. So I'm going to go with Henry Cejudo, Triple C, to win by unanimous decision, 30-27, against Payton Talbot. All right. So now let's move on to the next matchup, which is Brandon Moreno against Tatsuro Taira. So Brandon Moreno fighting out of Mexico against Tatsuro Taira, who's fighting out of Japan. Now, Taira is one of the only 2 guys who are from Japan. I think the other guy is Kaya Asakura, who previously lost by way of submission against Pantoja, and then he lost again to this other guy. I can't remember his name. But that guy was quite old too. He was out of his prime, and he just showed up with a new haircut, and he demolished him. I'm like, wow, that guy. I mean, they really cherry-picked an opponent for Kai to boost his rankings, and man, shame for him, man. That boost didn't really do him too good. But anyway, let's analyze Brandon Moreno. So Brandon Moreno was a former UFC Ultimate Fighter participant. He was in that reality TV show and he won it. He got his contract via that to enter the UFC, and ever since then, he's gone on to make history and be one of the only people to become world champion from that Ultimate Fight series. Not to be confused with Sean O'Malley, who became the world champion from Dana White's Contender series. There's a difference. But Brandon Moreno, former flyweight champion, the assassin baby, 23 victories, 8 losses, 2 draws. He has 5 wins by knockout, 11 by submission, 8 first-round finishes. Definitely submission artist. Striking accuracy is not up to standard, but he's very good with his jiu-jitsu. Very good. And I remember the fight with him against Steve Erceg earlier this year in March. He won just unanimously all 5 rounds. Steve Erceg tried his absolute hardest, but he just couldn't do anything. And even though Brandon Moreno, he fought Alabazi earlier late November 2024, he still won. He did lose against Royval in 2024 as well. And then, of course, before that he lost against the reigning champion, Alexandre Pantoja, by split decision. That was probably Pantoja's toughest battle in his life, because Brandon was very, very good at the time. And of course, Brandon, he won against Kai Kara-France. Kai Kara-France, ever since that loss, he's gone on to win, and then he even challenged. Mind me, this loss was in 2022. Ever since then, he's gone on to challenge other flyweight contenders, and he moved up the ranks to getting a title shot this year against the reigning champion of the flyweight division, Alexandre Pantoja. And that was horrible. That was a bad day. One of the darkest days in his life. Because this first round, Pantoja just had his way with him. He just took him down, kept him there, tried to get a submission. Kai Kara-France was going in there with his New Zealand pride, but it didn't work. Guy was spouting so much confidence, but when he got in there, he's like, and Pantoja was silent assassin. He was just silent, calm. Kai was, trying his best to rile him up, but it didn't work. And it got to the second round, he just looked so defeated, and yeah, Pantoja just put him asleep. But Brandon has a nice track record in the UFC, a couple losses, but still overall he's one of the best in the flyweight division right now. He's one of the best, second in the division, of course. And him fighting Tatsuro Taira, who is known as the best, but he's not. He's not. I mean, calling yourself the best is like saying Bilal's nickname, remember the name. It doesn't. He's trying, but it's not working. It's just not working. It's like Henry Cejudo calling himself Triple C, even though at that time he was trying to set the record of being a third division champion, but he just couldn't do it. So and he's stuck with that nickname of Triple C, even though he will never be a triple champion. It's one of those things, man. Like, that's why nicknames are very important, because if you're stuck with a nickname that just doesn't make sense, it's going to ruin your career. That's why most fighters don't choose a nickname. Like Tom Aspinall doesn't have a nickname, and other people too, because they don't want to get branded, you know. Well, you can choose your nickname, or the public decides it, but at the end of the day, you can reinforce whether it's kept or not. But Tatsuro Taira, 17 wins, only 1 loss, so he was undefeated before he lost. Who did he lose against? He lost against Royval, in 2024. Ever since then, he was unpredictable. That guy was undefeated at 2. He was winning and winning. He joined the UFC in 2022, so he was on a really nice streak of winning, and most of them coming by submission and also knockouts. But then he went and lost against Royval in 2024, and that sort of curbed his momentum. It always curbs your momentum if you're undefeated and then you go and lose. Like, nothing will stop your title shot faster than a loss from an undefeated streak. But his last fight was against Park. I think it was, what's his name? Park Songnim Hung Sung Park. Yeah, that guy. There's so many Parks, and all of them are from Korea. Yeah. But he did win by submission round 2, and then his most recent win after that was against Perez, and he won round 2 TKO. So we have a submission artist, Brandon Moreno, versus also kind of a submission artist, Tatsuro Taira. He's way younger. He's in his prime. Brandon's just out of his prime. I think Brandon's just out of his prime. He's not in peak form as we've seen him in the past. It's a tough matchup, this one. It's a tough matchup. My previous prediction, Henry Cejudo against Peyton Talbot. I'm about 80% sure Henry's going to win. 80%. So it's not confident at all, but it's 80%. If you go with Brandon Moreno against Tatsuro Taira, it's a 60%. Yeah, I think 60-40 that Brandon's going to win, just because of his experience, and he was former champion. He knows how to survive the rounds. He knows what to do and how much to do to secure a victory. And I think he's not going to tire himself out. Taira doesn't want another loss, and Brandon also doesn't want another loss, but I think Brandon wants it more, I guess. I'm going to go with Brandon to win. It's a very even matchup with these two. To think how the fight would go, I think round 1, it's anyone's game. And round 2, anyone's game. And round 3, I think Brandon's going to pick up. Round 3, I think it's going to be Brandon's. So it's really important for Brandon to get round 1. Maybe he can lose round 1, just eye out his opponent, try and comprehend his moves. And then round 2, pick up the round. And then round 3, it's his definitely. So I'm going to go with Brandon to win. Then the next matchup is the co-main, which is for the flyweight title of the world. And that is Alexandre Pantoja will be defending his title against Joshua Van. Now, this is one of the only title matches on the card. The other one would be the main event, which is the bantamweight title. But let's just take a look at Pantoja. So Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja. Now, this guy has been sitting on his throne in flyweight since 2023. He's been there almost 3 years camping. He's been camping this throne. No one's taking it from him. But this will be the closest one to take it from him, would be Joshua Van. Because Brandon Moreno last fought Kai Kara France, and he put him to sleep round 3. He put France to sleep. And before that, he fought Kai Asakura, and he put him to sleep round 2. He fought Steve Ursig, and he almost put him to sleep, but he just effortlessly won by unanimous decision 5th round. He fought Royval, won unanimously. Fought Brandon Moreno, and he won by split decision. That's where he got his belt. So Pantoja is definitely an unstoppable force. He's a submission artist through and through. 30 wins, 5 losses, 12 wins by submission, and 8 wins by knockout. 10 first-round finishes. This guy his achievements speak for themselves at this point. And he's never faced Joshua Van, so he's going up against an unknown force. Because most guys Alejandro has fought, I think he's at one point. No, he hasn't left the division yet. Not like Marab, we'll get to him, but Pantoja hasn't really fought any person twice yet. So Joshua Van is his new opponent. The fearless Joshua Van, 15 wins, 2 losses, 7 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. So Joshua Van lost. Well, he lost against Royval. Everyone's losing against Royval, bro. Why isn't he getting his title shot? Oh wait, he did get his title shot. Royval got his title shot in December 2020. Lost. So, but since then he's gone on to win quite a bit. So he should be earning his title shot soon. Joshua Van also fought Silva this year, June, and he won by TKO, 3rd round. He's fought Durden, Charez, lost against Johnson 2024. Wow, that's not good. To lose against Johnson, wow. But I'm going to go with Pantoja to win this bout. Now, Joshua Van has very good takedown accuracy. He can land his takedowns, but Pantoja will just stand up. He'll just stand up. And when it comes to jiu-jitsu, and when it comes to wrestling and takedown defense, Pantoja, his stats just are way better than Joshua's. Maxed out his stats at this point, and Joshua's still trying to get his full HP when it comes to like the later rounds. But Pantoja's maxed it out of it. He's now gone on hard mode, starting again. But I'm going to take Pantoja to win. Now this is not a 100% prediction. This is like a 90%, maybe 80%, because I don't know how long Pantoja can keep this up of just being a dominant force. He's getting, I think he's just out his prime. I think his previous fight was his last prime fight. I think now we're going to start seeing Pantoja slowly start to slip and lose momentum. I think his days it's numbered at this point. So this could be the time when we see a new flyweight champion emerge, and that being Joshua Van. That's why I'm not so certain. So I'm going to give Joshua benefit of the doubt, because Joshua's young. He's young, and so he's in his prime. But Pantoja, I think he's just past it. So I'm going to go with still Pantoja to win, but not a confident prediction. Well, confident, but not somewhat guaranteed. It's not guaranteed, but it's confident, 90%. So now we're going to move on to the main event, the event that this card is structured around, and that is Merab Dvalishvili defending his bantamweight world title against Petr Yan from Russia. Now, Merab's fights speak for themselves at this point. I mean, that guy is camping that throne of bantamweight. The machine Merab, 21 wins, 4 losses, 14 fight win streak. This guy hasn't lost in 14 matches. He's trying to set new records at this point. He's lapped the division, I think, 3 times now. He's lapped it. He's fought Sean O'Malley twice. He's fought Peter Yan. He's going to fight him twice already. He's fought Rafael Fiziev, I think, 3 times. This guy has fought everyone. And he's never lost. Well, he has lost, but not in... I think he's undefeated in the UFC. His wrestling is so good. And he has infinite stamina at this point. I don't think he even knows what fatigue is. He doesn't know what it is. It's just a foreign concept. He can't understand it because he never gets tired. in round 5 against Umar Nurmagomedov, who sets a fast pace, coached by Khabib. Merab looked like he was full battery in round 5, full battery, and Umar couldn't even do anything. Merab set the world record for the most takedowns in a single match in his previous fight. I think it was 54 in one round, or 36. He's broken so many of GSP's records, and now he's trying to break a new one. He's fought 3 times this year. 3 times. He's trying to fight 4 times this year, defend his belt 4 times, and break the record. And that's the only reason why he's fighting, because he fought in January this year, he's fought June this year, he's fought October, now he's fighting December. No one in the history of the world has fought 4 times or even defended their belt as a champion 4 times, and he's trying to do it. So this guy's in the record books already. He's definitely the king of bantamweight. Now, to say whether he's the GOAT of bantamweight's a different story, because there's Henry. Henry in his prime was very, very good. Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson was, I think, the best. But then we have Merab now, and I think Sean O'Malley, when he was in his prime, because now we can all say he's not in his prime, but when he was in his prime, he was just knocking people out left, right, and center, and he was good. He was really good. But Merab he just destroyed him. I think Merab is close to being the GOAT, the greatest of all time in bantamweight after this win. Once he defeats, and he will defeat Peter Yan. It's not even why, he will. He just will. He will, and he will then be the GOAT. I'll call him the GOAT, not of all time UFC, all divisions combined. He will be the GOAT of bantamweight, not of all the divisions, but just bantamweight. He's the GOAT. So he lost one against Corey Sandhagen, and that was effortless. Well, I will say Corey put up the best fight I've seen anyone put up. Corey stood up, I think, every single time, but by standing up, he wasted a lot of energy. But Corey was fit. I've never seen Corey Sandhagen that fit before. He was really way more fitter than Umar. Umar was gassed out after round 2. Sean O'Malley was also wasn't doing too good. But if we look up Peter Yan, he's already fought Merab. Peter fought Merab when did he fight him? Oh, March the 12th, 2023. But Merab won by unanimous decision. No shock there. And Peter Yan also fought Song Yadong, Figueiredo, McGee, and he won all those. So he's won ever since he lost to Merab. He did also lose against Sean prior to Merab, but ever since he fought Merab, he's won. Peter also he's from Russia, and he has very good wrestling, and his striking is also very good. His takedown defense is also quite good. I don't know if he can do anything to defeat Merab at this point. No one can do anything to even tire Merab out. The only chance you have of winning Merab, it is less than a 0.1%, and that is just to run at him, throw a kick, but don't actually throw it. Do a spinning back fist, but don't actually do the spinning back fist. And then hopefully the ceiling fan will fall down and Merab will trip on it and knock himself out. That's the only way you can win against Merab at this point, because the only way anyone will ever be champion over bantamweight division is if Merab retires and vacates or moves up. I don't think he's ever going to vacate. He's going to grow old on that throne. He's never leaving it. So I can say, for my prediction for Merab against Peter Yan, I'm going to say 100% guaranteed, bet the mortgage on the house, that Merab will win. Yeah, 100% guaranteed. It's not even close. It will never be close. Merab will just win. It's at this point, nothing can stop him. It's a done deal. Okay, so that's my predictions for UFC 323, taking place Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, 7th of December.